April episode. They did it. They actually did it. They did something a lot of people thought that they weren't going to do. Because lately, if you haven't realized, when as light novel readers and even the manga readers notice that in the anime they don't do a lot of point perspectives of the other characters. And that's what makes the characters in Mushoku Tensei truly shine, is because you get to see the different perspectives of the characters, their point of views. You get to see what they're thinking during that situation that Ruius was in or not in. And because of that, people were able to grow attached to these characters, that they were more than just black and white, two-dimensional characters. These characters didn't just feel like characters, they felt like people, you know? You walk into work one day, you see a guy, he's pissed off, he's all angry, and you think he's being a jerk, but something else on his other side must have happened to him. So, and that's just life, you know? Two perspectives collide, causing life to happen. And that's the reason why a lot of people love this show and love the story itself, along with the characters, is because that these things were able to happen, you know? Amazingly well written story. And the fact this episode couldn't have a good execution without the perspective of Norn and how she saw things through her eyes. You know, in the first episode, last episode, everyone hated Norn. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, this character is so annoying. She's so rude, obnoxious, entitled. Well, what's up with her? No one did not like her. And I can see why. But again, it's like people can't pick up on patterns of the show by now. Think about it. No one really liked it Paul. No one really liked it Eris. Or even Zenoba and stuff. Or probably even Cliff. Or people had a different outlook on Aniles, you know? These characters were very off-putting. But as time went on, you realize, well, they're not so bad. But yeah, it seems like no matter what happens, we get introduced to another character, people keep going through the same pattern over and over again. Like, when will you learn there's more to these characters than meets the eye already, you know? It's not just this one-dimensional, like, you see this bad character, there's going to be this two-dimensional villain the entire time. No, there's more to it than you can realize. And that's what makes these characters so darn good, you know, and make them feel like people. Now, Rudy is going off, you know, he sees, when he hears that Norn has become a shut-in, he storms off. He's like, oh no, she's going to end up like him, his former self, where he was a shut-in. He became a total scumbag and stuff and rejected everything. So because of that, he was pissed. He's like, oh god, he is not allowing this to happen, you know. And I do see where he's coming from. The fact that they allowed, like, think about it for a second. The fact that in Rui's past life, they allow that to happen to him on school grounds to show you how little power the teachers have in, I guess, in their school society. That it wasn't even in a private area that they did this to him. Like, where were the teachers, the principals, anything, man? In our school, we had security guards and stuff like that because we weren't a very good school, but still, at least there were cameras and stuff. We knew what was going on, and well, they knew what was going on. Some stuff they can always stop, but still, something like that, that would have gotten a lot of people expelled and stuff. I'm just saying. But anyways, this itself is proven, so that's why Rudius went to go there. Maybe he's thinking the same thing's happening in his school. So that's when he's walking down, you can just feel his presence, man. Just feel, everyone's feeling his presence. He is just this dude, just focused straight angrily on one thing. And as he's passing by the hallway, everyone's scared of this dude. Like, oh my goodness, the dude, he about to jack someone. Like, someone owe him money. Like, someone screwed his wife. Something happened. But he's off to get them. So here we are. So he goes in the classroom and he's asking nicely what happened. But deep down, nah, man, the minute these people raise their hand, I'll rip them apart. And his freaking jump to conclusions, his projecting of how he thought a teacher punished Norn was so just off the wall. Like, you made her do this, do that. Like, no, man, that's messed up. Only you thinking that, dude. That's just nasty. So, anyway, it turns out it wasn't even their fault. It was Rudy's fault the entire time. Imagine that, you're trying to defend someone, help someone, but try to solve someone's problem only to find out that you are the problem. So all you do is go in a corner and mope a little. And he didn't know what to do in the situation. How is he going to do this situation where if it was someone else bullying her, it would have been different for him. But instead, it's him. And I guess a lot of little siblings can have this feeling. I know I did when I went to some schools. When a time where me and my older sisters were in the same school, and they were very, very smart and popular, and I wasn't. So everyone had expectations for me. And everyone's like, oh, you're their little brother. You're their little brother. You're related to them. Oh, and stuff. And they were surprised how different I was to them. I was completely different. I was not like them. So things were a little harsh. I feel like I couldn't do anything about someone telling them. So I was just like, man, I felt choked. Even when they weren't in the school, if we were related to that school, it was somehow connected until they went off to college. And finally, I was able to breathe and be my own person. You know, it felt like, yes, I was finally free from all this, especially when I went to a different school at that same time. So it was just a new start. I wasn't related to nobody. And when the person I was related to at that school, I just met them. So they didn't know me and I didn't know them. But we started being good friends. So things started to feel better. I was finally able to create my own identity, be my own self, without everyone having these expectations in me. I could start from scratch. So I can understand where Norn is coming from that angle. She's there being judged by everybody. She sees a perspective at a young age of her brother beating up her dad, the only one that she has good memories of. So, and then the next time she sees him, which is years later, he's just drunk, living happily with a woman, and while her dad, is off looking for their mom, all tired and miserable looking. So she's like, "Oh, how dare he?" So she tries her best to stay quiet and not to be a burden in the house. She felt suffocated, and so that's why she wanted to go to the dorms. She felt like she can finally be her own person, a new life on leaf. Lease on life. Ugh. But that wasn't the case either. Everyone knew Ruius, and despite the trouble he would get into, everyone didn't seem to mind. And it was weird for them, someone always caused trouble, but yet everyone didn't mind because the trouble was just good fun. So she didn't understand, how can everyone like this dude? But he's just a dude you just got to get to know. And the problem is that Nora didn't try to get to know him. It was until that night he shows up in the room and he's quiet and doesn't want to say anything, realizes, yeah, she knew the answer all along. She just wanted to accept the answer in a way. Most of us know the answer to these kind of things. We just don't want to accept it. Because since we've rejected it for so long, we have this point of view. We create this point of view that doesn't really exist about a certain someone or something, and that causes us to go blindly into life, living a lie in a way. And that's exactly what she was doing. She knew Royce was going to hit her or yell at her and stuff. She even knew that the reason why he wasn't saying anything is because he didn't know how to approach her. She didn't. She knew that as well. She like, okay, he's not saying none because he doesn't know what to do with me. I've been kind of keeping my distance from the entire time, so of course he doesn't want to accept me. So she starts to understand that, and once when she passes that bridge and finally able to meet him on the other side, finally they're able to, make up and stuff. Finally do what's right, and there we go. Norn is back to normal. She has to find her own path. Her brother's there, his reputation, but you can't let that stop you. If you gotta let people know who you are for you. Like I am not my brother. I am my own person. Whether I'm an amazing or normal or below average, it's going to be me at the end of the day, and that's what she has to do. Carving out her own path, and there we go. Rudius himself sees that and saying his own life regrets of his past life, not giving his friend or even his older brother a chance to open up and to talk about to move forward. He just wanted to stay there and just not do anything. And that's what happened to him. He didn't want to move on and try to understand what his family was trying to do for him this entire time. His family didn't care for him. They wouldn't let him live with them to the point where he's freaking 34, for crying out loud. They pretty much babied this dude for his entire life there on Earth. I mean, think about it. So there's that. You can say the same thing for Roxy, but in reverse. Roxy didn't understand her parents, how much her parents cared and loved for her in a way. But instead of being a shut-in, she became a runaway instead. She ran away at a young age without saying anything. The parents don't know what happened to her and stuff, which is also sad because she didn't have bad parents either. They were trying to do the best for her, but she just felt like that there was no way she could breathe in that village where everyone was different. So she ran away. So she was like Rudius, but in reverse. She just couldn't face the problem living there, so she just moved off. If only people took time to talk and to understand each other, things would be different in life. But unfortunately, we allow our emotions to get the better of us, which causes things to go for the worst most of the times, unfortunately. So here we are. Altogether, it was a fantastic episode. So far, this part of the season has been dropping good emotional episodes after emotional episodes. Very well done. Now, let's get into the things I wish that they did. Yes, I know, despite all that praise, there's one thing I wish that they did. I wish they told a little bit more about Norn's story. If they really wanted to get to know Norn and her feelings, they would have gone a little bit deeper. Because the point perspective in the novels, Norn's story after that starts off where she meets her sister, Aisha, and they go live with their grandma. See, everything truly started getting worse when they went to move with the grandma, which is Zenith's mother. And the grandma was very uptight, status noble, who had these kind of mindsets, especially with Millis. So you already know where this is about to go. And with this, she had high expectations in Norn, but she would look down on Aisha. So in a way, Aisha was being bullied at the house, while Aisha's mom couldn't do anything about it because she's just a maid, aka a concubine in that sector of the world. So she even encouraged Norn to bully Aisha from time to time. And I don't think Norn really liked it or really tried to do it. So when they went to school, Aisha tried her best to be better than Norn at everything. So this is where it happened. So what I'm trying to say here is the biggest flaw they did is they don't give Aisha much character development at all. Hell, even in the main story, really think about it, Aisha's always seemed to be this perfect character who's just a bit goofy, or she's groomed differently thanks to the mom. But either way, it was different. Aisha started to be more of a bully towards Norn at school. And then when she would go home with where the grandma was, the grandma would bully Aisha for getting out of place and discipline Norn for not doing good enough, for being noble blood in a way. So she was upset with Norn. So when she heard she was moving out of that place, she was happy. But when she found out where she's going to move to, she was upset again. And this is where Aisha once again dropped her mask. Aisha started to take control of everything. On their way to Rudy's place, she was marking down all of the maps and all the things that they need to do to get there faster and stuff. She was pretty much leading the charge. You had two grown adults. One is a over 500-year-old warrior and a woman who protects royalty, and she was bossing them around. And Norm didn't like it, like how she's taking command, but they didn't mind it because she was being helpful. In fact, Ruger even said that she reminded him of Rudius in a way, how she had all these ideas, how to do things much easier and more efficient. And that's how Norn had that genius of her. It even made Paul a bit nervous in a way, like how is he giving birth to these very smart children in a way, where Aisha is more of a true genius because this is her first life. She has no past memories, so she's a true genius to be this smart. But Rudy is only smart because he has memories of his past life. So when you think about it, Aisha's the true genius in a way. But that's all I gotta say about that. Now, and then there were times where the connection she had with Ruijerd, it wasn't just Ruijerd just telling how good Rudius was. Ruijerd will also tell Nora about the past or tell sad stories about his race. They usually end in sadness, and she would always fall asleep through those stories Ruijerd would tell and stuff. There's just a lot of stuff they could do, like the connection she had with Ruijerd or the inferiority complex she had with Aisha and stuff. It would really break down the character a bit more with the show for people to truly understand where Norn is. They got the point across, but to really hit the nail on the coffin would have been this. It would have been nice, but we didn't get it. But I do understand. They got their point across, and that's all that truly matters at the end of the day. So I am happy that they did do this and made a lot of these people love these episodes. Like I'm saying, man, these episodes have been banger. Most of them, guess what, have no action in it, but they have emotion, music, tone, and a good way of executing point perspectives of how people feel about certain situations. The thing of Nanahoshi, the wedding, and now this one, man, banger after banger. We're doing it, people. And next episode, mm, I can't wait. So anyway, that's like after this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This has the background all anime. Signing out.